You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Skyrim Podcast. I'm Ray. We are podfatherless this episode, but joining me tonight is Victor.
Hello, hello.
And Jess.
Hey, Victor. Hey, Ray.
Howdy. All right. So I finally got the anniversary edition loaded. I had been playing so many different characters concurrently on SE that I was apprehensive to get it going, but I got it loaded on a separate PC and started playing it, and have not started modding it yet. And boy, is it weird.
Yeah,
because even with SE, I had never played Skyrim before, and SE was going to be coming out. And so Andrew convinced me to get the regular version because you would get the SE version automatically with the update. So I got the Legacy edition and, played that one, just kind of one session to get the program started. And then Victor, you had been, talking about all the modding. And so I immediately just started, in modding Legacy Edition with all the stuff that, that you had talked about. And so when Special Edition came out, I jumped right in to that and, just played it for, the shortest amount of time I could to get the files, to create, and then started modding it. Mm-hmm. And so, however long that's been, what
2016 was it?
Yeah,
yeah.
Seems, yeah.
5 years.
5 years. I've not played any actual vanilla Skyrim at all.
Yeah,
and so. Not having this one modded up, it's been really weird. It's like, holy smokes, how do people play this game?
Yeah, well, at least how do they use the silly interface? I shouldn't say silly, but it is awkward. It's more awkward. It's less awkward with a controller because that's really what it's modified for.
Yeah.
But
and it looks so, simple. You don't have all those, fabulous 4K textures and all that good stuff. And, I also use that, the flower mods that you were talking about. She's got, just such great work on that. So now I don't even recognize any of the plants because they don't look the same.
Yeah. One of the things about her flower, especially her mountain flower textures, is when you pick them, it still leaves flowers behind that are far more visible. I'm not sure if the vanilla even does leave any behind. So at least when you pick flowers, if there's a whole bunch of them in the city and you pick all the mountain flowers in a city, you're not sort of ruining the look of the town.
Right.
I hate that. It's just like denuding everything. It just So I don't do that. Yeah, her textures are gorgeous. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's been pretty weird. But it's the content has been fun. So I've been doing the fishing quest.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, playing Anniversary Vanilla like you are is letting you kind of focus on the Creation Club stuff, right?
Yeah, definitely, because that's certainly nothing beautiful distracting me. So I don't know if somebody's already gone in and done some kind of improvement on the fish graphics, because some of those are kind of ugly.
I don't know. I don't know if there are. Yeah, I'm sure there will be at some point soon.
Yeah.
4K and 8K fish
Well,
textures.
I feel like some of the general textures might hit some of those fish as well, because I haven't noticed them being ugly in my modded game. And a lot of them are same fish that you can see swimming in the water if you go into the lake. So I have a feeling some textures are hit. But yeah, like the pog fish, there are definitely some unique ones for the mod.
Yeah.
I haven't really found many anyway because I haven't been doing much of the fishing. The only place I fished was the one right below the Guardian Stones there. I just tried it there a few times. It was fun enough, but I was sort of focused on running around like I usually do. So I've been running around. But I've worked through a few of the Creation Club. Most of the way through and I don't even know what these quests are called, frankly. The one where you go into a dwarven ruin and you get the masks of winter and spring or whatever and stuff. It's fun. It's actually really well done. It's one of the ones that was worked on by TrainWiz and then various other well-known modders contributed to it. I don't know what it was called.
I think it's is that the Dwarven Home is Neshuenthums, or however you pronounce that, of course.
Yes. Many consonants.
Flows off the tongue, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see where what I've completed here. I can tell you Forgotten Seasons, is that it? Sky Orchestrator. That was part of it. That was one of the branches of the quest. It's Forgotten Seasons. I did In the Shadows, but we talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that a bit last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just scrolling down. I've done a ton of vanilla quests already, working through bits and pieces of things.
It's good. It's good. I just with fishing, is that the only Creation Club that you've delved into much so far? In the anniversary?
Yeah. Yeah, because I came right out of Helgen, ran down to the Guardian Stones, and I knew that poacher down there was, going to have the fishing pole. So,
yep, your first bait bucket.
Yep. And so then, so I started that, and then I don't remember how I got I think it must have been a note or something pointed me to a character at the Riften fishery.
Yeah. So as soon as you catch your first fish, you read the book. That the guy's not a writer, but he knows fishing and he's fished all over Skyrim. Yeah. And so you read the book, you get your first fish, and you get a pop-up, visit the Riften fisheries for the quest. And then you can also find a fishing map. And then of course the vendors have some too. I was initially kind of chagrined by the fishing. I talked last week about how I didn't know, or last episode, how I didn't know how versatile it was. And we thought maybe you could fish everywhere. And obviously you can't. You can only fish at specific locations with a pole and a bait bucket, which at first I was disappointed because I'm like, this is not as intuitive as I thought. There's always going to be like 3 false tugs and 1 real tug. But then I found more and more bait buckets. I think you said how many there were? Like 69 of them?
69 of them around. Yep.
Yeah, so I found more and more buckets. So that's made it more interesting in caves and various places. Like even that first mine you go to, the Ember Shard mine, I think, near Riverwood.
Yep.
You can fish down in that cave. Like so, and the pattern isn't always the same. So I'm finding it not as relaxing as I'd hoped, but it's better than I worried after the first week.
Yeah. Well, and it took me a minute to figure out that if you get a tug without a splash, reel it in. And that's when you get junk.
Oh, okay. Because I've gotten a couple of lanterns, and maybe I've fished in one or two other locations, but I think there's a spot down below Catless Farm in near Solitude. I might have fished there, but I remember getting a lantern or two, and you can run out of bait, right?
There's only so many fish per space.
Yep, the area gets depleted, but then you sleep a day or two, I think, and they come right back.
Yeah,
you can tell when you first get the bait in the water by does it splash and froth or not?
Right.
Which I guess it's good to have an indicator so you know you're not wasting your time. But I was that was a little weird too. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more gamified than some fishing game games.
Yeah.
So what's the? I mean, because I'm looking at. I don't have the speak to somebody at the Rift and Fishery unless it's got a quest title. It's not under my miscellaneous.
Yeah, it's not miscellaneous. I think it has a quest title. And I don't know, is it like Angler Pursuits or something? I'm not quite remembering.
Well, I haven't triggered it. I haven't triggered it then. So okay.
Have you read the book?
I clearly not.
Yeah, because it might be the book and not the fish.
Yeah.
Well, I've read the good book, but not that book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've gotten dwarven maces, steel war axes.
Oh, as junk? That's cool.
As junk, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Along with, so I've been swimming around in the lakes and rivers in Skyrim, and I have not seen this level of garbage, sitting at the bottom of these bodies of water. I mean, buckets and tankards and flagons and just,
That's
all
cool.
manners of crap, empty wine bottles.
I don't swim much, mostly because the way ENB renders water and what it does to underwater, it just looks like you're basically floating through air under a layer of rendered water surface. So it doesn't look very good when you're underwater.
Yeah, mine does. It makes it look like it's heavily algaed. It's got a heavy green look to it.
Yeah, I haven't loaded any of those extra textures. You can do that in textures or whatever. But right now I'm not running anything. But are you running an EMB with it or
no? So at this point, I fired up Vortex, because I did have it loaded on this machine, but I hadn't used it to mod Skyrim because I hadn't loaded Skyrim on this particular machine. Okay. And as soon as I fired it up and it recognized Skyrim, it told me that I had the wrong SKSE.
Right.
Oh.
And so I got that loaded in, and then I loaded unofficial patch and I think real water, and then decided, I just want to play.
Yeah. You probably don't even need the unofficial patch that much, but yeah, it's not. Yeah.
But one thing I did learn about Vortex, so I did not start the game with Vortex. I went back and started it with the Steam launcher. And the first thing it did was pop up and say, this character is not eligible for achievements because you've got mods loaded. And I'm like, well, no, I don't.
No.
So I went back to Vortex, disabled the mods in Vortex, and went back, and everything was okie dokie.
That's weird because Vortex works underneath the hood just like Mod Organizer does, doesn't it? It creates virtual directories and stuff. So unless something got, I don't want to say polluted, but something got into your base data directory, I wouldn't have thought that the Skyrim launcher would have detected it.
But it popped right out, as soon as I disabled the mods in Vortex. So,
yeah, odd. Even if it's not initialized, maybe it detects it somehow. Like the way some things detect cheat engine, etc.
Yeah. One thing that happened to me was that regardless of the fact that I was launching it through the SKSE launcher and Mod Organizer, I still got an update pushed down, which really surprised the heck out of me. Because I started the game, I hadn't played in 2 or 3 days. I knew there'd been an update. I just coincidentally hadn't played in 2 or 3 days. And Silverlock being as quick as they are, it was fine. But I launched the game and it immediately told me I had the wrong same thing. But I had the wrong SKSE. But this is after I'd been playing AE for a while. So I don't know what happened there. But luckily, I just went and switched over to the latest SKSE and everything was fine. A lot of things are popping up updated now. I'm going to take a look quickly and see something popped up recently that was that I was gratified to see was had just been updated. I don't remember what it was. I'll find it in a minute.
Yeah. So one thing I need to try out that I've never really messed around with, but it just kind of dawned on me. So typically with SKSE, the only thing that they update is the version checker.
Right.
They don't typically do anything different with the actual scripts themselves.
No.
So I should be able to, because I do the split out where I load the hard files into the data directory and then into the main directory, and then have the scripts as a separate mod that I can enable through my mod enabler.
Yep.
So I should be able to just update the hard files that are in the main directory.
Theoretically, I usually just go ahead and
because they're there anyway, and it's so easy to make that separate mod out.
Yeah, just in case, I don't know, maybe there's something that they've tweaked here and there, so I just always reload the new data files.
But sometimes it's fun to break it.
Yes, move fast and break things. Yeah. Well, I can't remember what mod it was that was recently and that hadn't been updated in a very long time. Somebody came along. Follower trap safety is working. That's handy.
Yeah, it is.
I was in is it Teva or Trevor's watch?
Trevor's,
yeah, Trevor's watch, and there's a lot of floor traps in there. And finally, I just said, "That's it. I'm getting out of here, and finding that mod." So, and it works fine so far with AE content. The best thing I've gotten is the Bow of Shadows.
Isn't it nice? Yeah,
seriously amazing bow.
I'm not a bow user. As I've said before, I prefer sneak magic to sneak archery. Never played an archer character, and wow, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it on my character. Yep. I'm actually using it occasionally, even just for hunting and to get some leather and meat. I mean, yeah, it's a sweet bow. It
really is. It's probably, it might even be a little OP. I don't know. It's certainly the most powerful bow in the game. It's stronger than the Galder black bow. It's stronger. What's the other? It's faster than Zephyr.
Oh wow!
And yeah, it fires really fast.
The Stag Prince. That's another one of the one. It's hard to get.
Yeah, I don't remember. There's a third one that's really powerful bow.
I think the neat thing about it, and I'm not sure, I assume it's like many items leveled based on the level you get it at. And it's one that, because the quest starts in Whiterun, you're quite likely to get at a lower level. I'm like, oh, this is a new quest. This is really neat. Yeah. And it was actually tougher than I expected, dealing with an assassination plot and such. No spoilers, because it's probably new and a lot of people haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing it at a low level, it was hard to survive the final fight. I had to reload 3 or 4 times. Yeah. But it was fun. And I guess what I'm saying is, getting this bow that's OP at a lower level, it won't be OP, as you level up.
Yeah, that's true. Although mine has a base damage of 47, which is really high.
Yeah.
So and I don't know what that works out to.
I think my current hunting bow is 12.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm also playing with Inai Shion's sort of new lighter duty magic. It's mod called, I think it's called Odin. Let me see. Odin. And there's some very cool spells in there, including one. Keep flipping back and forth here. I forget what it's called. Elemental Burst, I think. And it comes in 3 levels: novice, apprentice, adept. And once you can get the adept one, it's a blast that does shock and fire damage, and also damage to stamina. I can't remember. I don't want to run the game right now. But it's also, even at the novice level, it's a pretty OP spell. build your destruction fairly quickly, which I've been doing with this character. It's the only thing is it has an AOE effect. So Lydia is constantly saying, "I'm on your side." Yeah, I say, well, yeah, I know, but too bad.
Yeah, so use that bow and arrow you got.
Right.
Yeah.
If you were on my side, I wouldn't hit you. You're obviously on my front, not my side. Thank you.
Right. Yeah. But it's still it's a fun spell. It's made this it's made me shift over from to. In fact, we're doing some of the Winterhold Mages College quest now.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And I've got Obscuras loaded.
You did get Obscuras. That's awesome. So that's not on Xbox. I couldn't get it loaded like I wanted to.
That's too bad. There is a Mages College mod for Xbox, though, isn't there?
Yeah, I've got the Magic of Winterhold and a couple others that affect it. I haven't been up there yet in my playthrough.
Yeah. I've been sort of going along, and as I decide which quest lines I'm going to do, I've been adding mods. So I've added that one. Before I started it, I decided, okay, I'll give it a shot through that end. And there may have even been an update for all I remember. My brain's a little foggy right now. But I've also added 3 or 4 Civil War related mods, and I haven't triggered the Civil War yet. But there's one called Aftermath, which I believe after 20 game days or so, it'll rebuild the damage in the cities. And there's a patch. I've actually got Dawn of Skyrim and JK Skyrim running in the cities.
Oh wow!
Now. So this is a fairly powerful computer, so it can handle JKs much better than in past. I mean, with my ENB running, I'm getting in certain spots. I'm down to 49 to 50 FPS, but I can deal with that. So anyway, so I've got that. The Aftermath. I got the Second Great War. And Civil War battlefields, and one other that looked like fun.
I get nervous about Civil War mods, especially early in. You know what I mean? Because it touches so many different things that it's one that if it's not working out, it can ruin your playthrough partway through.
Absolutely, and that's happened to me in the past. So.
Yeah, since the one I'm building is kind of my long-term playthrough, like that's my idea, at least for the next year or two. As I, when I just want to play Skyrim, this is the one I jump into. I didn't want to add too many mods like that.
Well, this is a mistake that I've been making for almost 10 years now, where I say, "Yep, this is just my test character," and then I get like totally invested in it and add too many mods, and it breaks, and then I go on to something, But yes, so I feel you. I should be doing that, but I have told myself now I've got as many as I'm gonna, unless I add a texture or something like that. Well, I mean, we tell ourselves, it's kind of like I was telling Marigold in our Discord, a new Discord member who's been talking a lot about Skyrim and just getting into mods for the first time. I'm like, you do, once you get the loadout set and you've done your testing, you've done the Whiterun loop a couple times or whatever your testing method is, and you start playing, you really don't want to add or remove anything unless it's absolutely, it's safe. But we always do. Particularly remove. Don't remove unless it's a texture or something.
Yeah, exactly, because it leaves echoes and remnants, and I mean, she's found that because she's been adding some game-changing, that really changed some serious mechanics, and so she found that there were even echoes in other saves if they have a character the same name. There's a number of things on Xbox that aren't issues on PC. It's a different type of issues. I mean, y'all have a whole lot more potential issues than we do. So last episode I was talking about getting into it and just building that character. It's been 3.5 weeks now since the Anniversary Edition released, and I spent at least the first week and a half kind of more testing, playing with mods, doing that loop, and I settled on a good pack of 100, a couple that are comprehensive, but just mostly textures and niceties and stuff. So I'm enjoying this playthrough a lot. I'd say I've got almost 40 hours on the character now.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, at least 35. I didn't have a single crash until after 25, so I'm doing something right.
Yep.
And that was Western Watchtower, which, as I was saying, is the one of the most common crash spots. If you've been doing a long session, you go to Western Watchtower, even without much loaded. That can crash. So.
Yeah, quest spots with quest triggers are especially if you're crossing whatever invisible barrier there is there.
Yeah, right on the hold or what have you.
Yeah,
exactly. but it's running well. So 40 hours in, I've had maybe 3 crashes, and most of the time they were understandable. I know exactly why it happened, so I'm pretty happy with my loadout. The only things I'm trying that are really different than what I've done before is the UI. I'm using Sky UI because we don't have actually Sky UI on Xbox, so we can't do those kind of UI mods. But there's a mod called Sky HUD, so different than Sky UI, and I'm using the Dissonance preset, and this preset is awesome. It basically makes it look like Oblivion. So I've got my health, stamina, mana over on the left, and then I've got the compass. It's really small down bottom, so it's very unobtrusive, and it also acts kind of like iHUD, where it hides
I was about
my
to
health,
ask that.
stamina.
Awesome.
Yeah. So the only thing on screen is this compass, which is maybe a third the size of the normal compass. It's very small, and then it changed the reticle from the cross diamond thing in the middle to just a dot. So it's incredibly immersive, and I'm really enjoying that. And that's been going well. A few other big ones, magic, textures, all that. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. So
has Enai Cheyenne loaded up things like Odin? I forget what he had a name for it. He developed a series of lighter duty mods as alternatives to Apocalypse and Ordinator and various other ones. Odin is one of them. It's a smaller alternative magic mod. I wonder if those are available on Xbox now.
I don't know if Odin is. Apocalypse is. I use Apocalypse and Ordinator.
Yep.
And several of his others are. We have Fenderix magic over there. But my favorite old magic mod I've mentioned before, Mighty Magic, never made it to Xbox. A number of others didn't.
Yeah. One of my favorite alchemy mods made it in some form to Xbox via Tarshana. She adapted one called Alchemy Redone, which is a really old Skyrim mod, which works just fine on SE and I assume will work fine in AE as well. I haven't loaded it into this game, and I probably won't for the reasons that we just talked about, just in case. But I think she did it may even be called Alchemy Redone. But it's really fun. It adds all kinds of cool sort of medieval alchemical ingredients, bismuth powder and all kinds of things like that.
Sounds awesome. Sounds awesome. Yeah. More color, more variety of the plants. I definitely, the plant mods I have are pretty exciting. I'm also doing so many birds. I've got skybirds, birds of Skyrim, prismatic insects. Oh my God. They're so pretty. So I didn't mod cities so much. I mean, obviously I added towns and villages like I do, dock mod, stuff like that, but nothing like a JK or a Solitude rework, anything like that. But there is one called Whiterun Comes Alive that had some good reviews, and I'm like, you know what, let's take a look at that. And basically it adds birds, insects, and just plants and stuff in all the out of the way sections of Whiterun. And that plus prismatic insects walking through in the back by the area by the Temple of Archay, just past the Temple of Kinnereth, and you've got that little grove there. It's just full of butterflies. It's beautiful.
Oh wow, nice. Are they alternate kinds of butterflies, or is it still the same orange and blue?
No, it's a variety. That's the prismatic insects. Same with the torch bugs. You get a bunch of different colors. So different butterflies, different colors with the torch bugs.
Different alchemical effects, or
I think that's coming from something else because there is some of that even right in Anniversary Edition. Yeah. So you know how it is. A lot of things work together, and sometimes some is greater than you expect. Yeah. Also, I'm doing new followers this time. I've never played with Lucian before, and never played with Ori. So I have both of them loaded, and instead of the classic long running companion mods that we've all played,
like Inigo or whatever. Yeah, I've been curious about Lucian. Everybody seems to like that one a lot.
And on a number of them, he had an Anniversary Edition patch very quickly, which actually basically over time they've been doing Creation Club patches as new creations come out. The mod author has been adding stuff for Lucian to interact with those creations.
Oh, nice! That's awesome.
And now he did a kind of an omnibus patch for it. It's just called the Anniversary Edition patch.
Oh, wow.
Adds all that stuff. So cool. He seems really cool.
I may definitely load that. That I would say is a fairly safe mod to load mid game. those kinds of mods. We discussed it a little bit last time too, but so far still I haven't had any issues with EFF, the follower mod EFF.
Nice.
It started to work after something I updated, and it's been quite stable as far as I can tell. I have now Berlina because I'm playing a dark elf, so Berlina is a natural follower companion, and of course Lydia is with us as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they're, and the two of them, the only, for as far as on my end of things with the mods that I'm using, etc., and crashes, the thing that crashed the most early on was SSE engine fixes, which is another one of those sort of base. But that was after the first revision after AE, and then the mod author loaded up an update for it, and so I tried it again, and I haven't had any crashes. And basically they were crashes on travel. So as you're traveling through a door or fast traveling or whatever, it's a pretty common crash in the PC world anyway. But I'm not sure exactly what it is that causes it, but any kind of transition like that, and it's just an instant crash to desktop. But whatever it was, the mod author seems to have fixed it. So I have that now loaded and it's been stable. That's another one of those mods, sort of like the unofficial patch, which you think you probably should have, but you're not sure you really need, so you load it anyway because you probably should have it. And,
Not to loop too far back, Ray, but since the only creation you've really played with so far is fishing, how far down that quest line have you made it? Because I looked it up while you two were talking. It looks like there are actually 22 quests in that.
Wow.
So Victor, Angler Acquaintances is the name of the first one that we're looking for. Angler Acquaintances.
Okay. All right, I'll look for the book and I'll be sure to read it.
Yeah, so I went through. So when you go talk to the Argonian at the fishery, he has two separate quests that you do.
Oh.
One is catch fish in the sun and one's catch fish in the rain. So you get a different variety of fish each time. So I completed those. And then you go talk to a woman outside, and she sends you on bounty quests. And so I've done probably 5 different bounty quests with her.
Okay, yeah, that's a lot. So I imagine a lot of these I'm seeing are bounty quests because it says, catch a fish in this cave or catch a fish here.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And
so they're like are they radiant quests? I mean, in other words, they change locations. Do you think, or are they?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they send you to. I mean, you have to go to specific areas.
Nice.
When you do the fishing quest, the first 2, you get access to a little back room where he's got his volumes of the master fisher, and that one it'll tell you this particular fish you find in lakes, this one you find in streams, this is the temperate. All kinds of different specifics about where you find the different kinds of fish.
That's very cool.
Apparently we're getting goldfish for Mila Valencia in Whiterun.
Yeah.
Carlotta's daughter.
I just got that for her.
Oh, that's great.
And total spoiler. It's a biggie. She puts it in a trough. And so you can actually see the little fish swimming around in this trough.
Oh, that's great. It's like a personal koi pond.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'm wondering if that would be very cool to be able to, put fish in if you have inside a player home or something like that, or maybe have an aquarium. Is there an aquarium?
Well, I think there is an aquarium.
Okay.
Yeah, you can build in your home at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Okay.
And so some of the fish are pretty cool looking. Like I wouldn't mind an aquarium full of glass fish.
Okay. Now I'm sort of really intrigued. I'm going to have to go back and do this.
Yeah.
Even though Slythe is not really a fishing kind of guy.
And so at one point during the quest you get an upgraded fishing pole. So there's there's different levels of these fishing poles. And so now I've got the Argonian fishing pole, which is supposed to help you catch bigger fish, but I had to catch a goldfish. And so I was trying, couldn't get a goldfish. So I went back and built a regular rod because I'd already sold off both the other regular rods that I had. And so I built a new one and then went and caught a goldfish.
The fishing rods can be used as weapons. That I have done.
Yeah.
So you can whack somebody to death with a fishing pole.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen a video where somebody did where the only weapon they use is a fishing pole.
You beat Alduin with a fishing pole. That's awesome.
Yeah.
One of those classic challenge runs.
Yep.
So I don't know if I had to, downgrade the pole to catch the goldfish, but it worked. So,
Very cool.
Made the little girl happy. So it's all good.
Yep.
And she's very happy.
Good.
So you follow her over and she puts it in the trough. So
that's awesome. I'm excited to check that out once I get to Riften. I still have the only holes I've been to so far are Whiterun and Morthal up there.
Yeah. So I hadn't even gone into Whiterun when I, before I went to Riften. So I went right to the stables, hopped the carriage to Riften, and went down and so it adds the docks as a fast travel point, which I don't believe was there before.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I have a mod that does that, and now I'm actually suddenly worried. I hope my docks don't interfere with the fishing docks. We will see. We will see. Better docks hits a couple of things. I don't know if it hit.
I believe there's a couple. I read somewhere that there are a couple of mods that I'm using. Like, I don't know if it's Dawn of Skyrim or JK's that also interfere with a couple of fishing spots.
I feel like I checked compatibility and it was compatible, but we'll see.
Yeah. There was a player home that was really nice. That added a fast travel point right next to the Riften docks. I think it was called what was it called? Riften Fishing Shanty or Fishing House or something, or Fish House. I don't remember. It was off on the south. No, that would be the. Gosh, I'm all turned around.
Yeah, it's kind of the southwest side.
Yeah. So that was a nice player home. It had. Working blinds, you could pull the blinds down. Otherwise, it was fully in world. There was no transition point there, whatever you call it. So you could walk directly into the house.
I love that. Although it's funny when other people come in and hang out in your house.
Yeah, a little weird, but but you could close and lock the door, and you could pull the blinds, so you keep people out that way.
Yeah. I'd like the Riften fishing hut for that.
Yeah, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of. Is it in the same spot? It's over on the side.
Yeah,
just the stable side of town, basically. Yeah, behind the stables.
Yeah, the Riften Fishing Shack, I think it's called.
Yeah.
That's a nice one, and the key is in the satchel out front, and
right. Yeah, easy to get.
Yeah,
where I have Mirror Watch, that's what I'm using as my player home.
That's why I went up to Morthal, was to claim Mirror Watch, because my character, she is a Breton scout, but she is, very magic attuned, and might ultimately go magic, although I'm trying to, keep it mixed, keep it, kind of a classic Nightblade, but more of a scout MO for my role play. I went up to claim Mirror Watch, and I did. I went in there, I got it. It's a really cool home. I'm not sure I'm going to use it. There's just something about the feel of it that didn't feel homey enough for me. So I saved my gold, and I spent 7,500 on a Tundra home. So I think Tundra home's going to be.
Yeah, I was going to do that, and then I thought I love the swamps in Morthal. That's probably one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite part of the Skyrim. It's so beautiful, especially in the it's modded and stuff.
The other thing that dissuaded me is one of the few really comprehensive mods. I have maybe 3 mods that can cause problems in my game over time, and I already have. And one of them is Beasts of Tamriel. And Beasts of Tamriel adds all kinds of creatures, mostly lore friendly, although some not necessarily lore appropriate for Skyrim, and some that are a pain in the ass, like ancestor trolls, which I don't like them killing guards and people willy-nilly. So I've had to, decide when I'm going to go near where I know one spawns.
Yeah.
But there are some goblins or weaklings just outside Mirwatch too, every time I load in.
Huh.
So I'm like, that's not a good homey location.
Yeah. That's a fairly difficult chorus too. Pardon me.
Yeah. Honestly, the Taurus didn't attack me. So after you go back, he does come back. Like initially they're not there and then he comes back. But I do have something. I have a more passive animals mod, which shouldn't affect Tauruses. But for whatever reason, this one hasn't attacked me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know why.
I had to kill it. It took me a while to kill it. But I had Lydia with me. So I basically took it down a few pegs with this elemental. I think I was using the elemental, the mid one, whatever it is, bolt burst, whatever. And then Lydia went in and finished.
I may be misremembering now that I think about it. He may just be far enough away that he didn't aggro me near the door. Yeah. But once I did go near him, he attacked, and I probably took him out with fire. I've only been in Mirwatch like 3 times because I figured out pretty quickly. I'm like, this isn't for me.
Yeah, I kind of like it. It has which is a little odd for Eleonora because she's very skilled modder, but it has the havoc problem when you go through that mist gate into the crafting section of Mirwatch, things fly around.
I didn't have that, but I did find that things jostled pretty easily in a few locations. So yeah.
Because I think most of the stuff in there is not static display. It's all
which is
pickable.
Nice.
It is nice, but I think it's sensitive to that. So I have a troll skull that likes to fly around.
I just pick it up. I'm like, once you fall from the shelf and hit the floor, you're gone. So I just delete things.
That's a good idea.
As they fall over time, and they stop.
Yeah, I'll have to go check that place out because I was just in Morthal for a fishing contest. So,
oh, nice.
Well, watch out for the Chorus. I believe it's a level 12 Chorus. So
I'm a wood elf.
You are. Oh, well, then you're good. But you'll still have to pacify it every time you come back out the door.
Yeah.
So that's what Major. You've probably been watching Major. Maybe you have watching Major Slack's AE run.
I started it and got about halfway through the first episode, and then I got to fund some other stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, he's playing a wood elf too, so he's using Mirwatch as his player.
Yeah.
I
just wanted to be a sneaky archer, so
I have another one. I think that what's the did I get Hendraheim?
So I started the quest for that. That was actually my 3rd quest when I was trying to Skyrim up the hill to get to Hendraheim after clearing out the Forsworn across the way.
Yeah.
So that was my last crash, and that's actually I haven't played the game since then. But I was trying to get to Hendraheim to see what was going on there.
I got it. I wasn't all that impressed with it, but I was going to make it. I thought I might make it Lydia's home because it's a good warrior's home. It wasn't what I was looking for, but the location is gorgeous. It's right across from Fort Sunguard. It's beautiful there,
and it's longhouse style, right?
Yes, it is. It looks like basically it's upside down boat longhouse style. Yeah. Fort
Sunguard. That's the one with the Forsworn there. It's funny. I didn't.
No, Sunguard has a. I think it has a.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a bandit contingent. It's almost on the edge of the reach, but it's not. It's not the what's that big redoubt with the waterfall and the Bard's Leap is right on the other side.
I know that place.
Yeah. That's right on the other side of Hendraheim.
That place is gorgeous. I mean, just the views. Oh my goodness, it's wonderful. So I didn't make it quite that far. Like I said, I was almost hitting that area because I came from the north. From Golden Hills Estate, so that quest, interesting. I did get the farm. I didn't have much to plant. I got the quest to plant things, so I just started planting like random fungi and stuff in my inventory.
Me too, exactly. Whatever was there.
Blue mountain flower, red mountain flower. Like more nightshade.
More tapanella.
Exactly.
I planted like 11 of those.
Yeah.
So could use that as a home, but I got it after I bought Tundra home. I was just kind of going that way. Just I got some neat quests that are basically I'm broadening my way slowly. I fast traveled a couple times, but I'm playing very, very organically.
Oh, cool.
This time. And as I discover more of the map, I will. But yeah, so far it's just been like Whiterun Hold and up to Morthal.
It's funny because I usually don't fast travel either, but this time I decided I'm going to fast travel a lot, so I've been hopping around all over the place. But go ahead, sorry.
Oh, well, I have the carts, expanded fast travel and all that. Yep. So, I can fast travel to all the number of towns and locations. Yeah. So as long as I use those as hubs, I feel like I'm discovering it organically.
Yeah. I have what the PC mod I use is the carriage and ferry travel overhaul or something like that. And the way that mod author did it is maybe a little different. The first one, I forget what it was called, that we all used back in Legendary Edition or Legacy Edition, whatever you want to call it, put carts everywhere. This one doesn't quite so much. It adds a cart in Morthal and it adds a cart at Winterhold. But otherwise, what it'll do is, if when you go to the cart driver and say, I want to go to Solitude, he'll say, would you like to go right there, or can I drop you off somewhere in between? And then it'll give you a couple of options that are in Hafengar, like Dragon Bridge, and I forget which other one is the option in Hafengar. So there's a couple of optional locations in each hold, but he or she doesn't put carts there. So you can get there, but you got to walk back.
Right, because he just dropped you off on the way.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool that way, and it's a lot more stable than the other one, and has a lot less train wrecks with their various things. The only one where there still is in, what did I say? I said Winterhold. I think I meant Dawn's. There's a Dawnstar. He has Dawnstar carriage and a Morthal carriage.
Right, because there always is one at Winterhold up the road, right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's a carriage at Winterhold.
Wow!
In the vanilla game.
Well, once again, like Ray, haven't played vanilla in forever.
Yeah, because in the vanilla game, the only ones that are that have carts are the ones with stables.
So I forget which. There might be a Winterhold add-on for CFTO or something like that. I don't remember, but I spent all the money and did all the additions at Golden Hills. I didn't really fancy it enough to make it a home, but I did make Eric the Slayer my steward there. So,
I mean, he got out of Rorikstead, I guess.
That's right. He got out of home. He's got his armor, but he's still near Dad, so Dad can keep an eye on him. But I here's the thing for me, anyway, having played so much Valheim over the last few months, that the planting in Skyrim is so unsatisfying that I don't really want to do it. You got to sort of find the hit point there and do the fertile soil and stuff, and it's just not as smooth and nice as Valheim is. Yeah. So, but one thing I have in Mirrorwatch, there's an inside garden there, and it spawns super fast. So I've got Scaly Foliota and Canis Root and Mora Tapanella and a couple other things that make some real power potions. And it seems like every time I come back, it's respawned. Nice. So I've got a ton of those things, and I've made some pretty high level potions out of that. So that's been good. The Golden Hills is a nice mod.
A magic garden like that. It makes me think of the home in Oblivion, which I know we're still kind of technically in the middle of the Oblivion playthrough, although many of us have paused or been away. But yeah, that tower there, that was one of my favorite features of it, was that garden. So I'm glad that it kind of made an appearance here. And as my character gets more into magic, maybe she'll go back to Mirrorwatch more often, because I did plant a few things while I was there, of course, couldn't resist. But I'm just gonna have to see how regularly creatures spawn there and attack every time I go home, because I don't like that. Which Tundra Home, I fast traveled to. Sometimes you can be lazy. So I went from Dragon's Reach there. I'm like, it's in sight. Is this really fast traveling if I could see it over the wall? Yeah. So I fast traveled down there and boom, dragon spawned. I'm like, oh boy. I had read that dragons often will spawn at Tundra Home. Is that right in your experience? Do you know?
Well, it's a dragon spawn location anyway. So yes, there was a mod years ago, which is still out there and was finally patched for this, but there's a dragon spawn point on the waterfalls above, between Whiterun and Riverwood, and this is beautiful Riverside Lodge, it's called. It's a beautiful home.
Yeah.
But the original legacy version of it had horrible problems with dragons spawning inside and just flying. It was just like train wreck city. So, but the mod author finally fixed it. But yeah, so I think there's a dragon spawn point down there along somewhere in the tundra. So that's probably why.
Yep, that makes sense. And not to switch to too much Fallout, but that reminds me of a Scorched Beast in the Galleria Array, which I'm sure you've had that happen a few times. Cracks me up.
Yeah. So it was fun. But I haven't been to Kynes Grove yet to meet Delphine. So I don't think I have triggered the full dragon spawn. Isn't that what triggers the regular dragon spawns?
I mean, Western Watchtower does a lot of it, but following Delphine to where they're being reborn, it might increase the frequency.
Yeah, because I haven't had.
Because I think that's where you start getting them in the cities and and all that is when you do that one. Because before that, I mean, they'll show up at the at the word walls.
Okay.
But I don't think they start showing up in the cities until you actually do the Kynes Grove.
Yeah, I told Delphine to go pound sand and that you have that conversational option there when you go back to rent the room in the attic. So I figured I just told her to go away and I'll come back and.
Yeah, I haven't been up the throw of the world yet, or gone that far. Yeah. The Greybeards did call me, because I did the Western Watchtower, like I said, which was my first crash. So I will head that way eventually. But yeah, I'm kind of not going to say purposeless right now because I'm just enjoying the playthrough where it takes me. Between fishing, even mining, I spent a day mining. I spent several days chopping wood, which I didn't really take advantage of that in Riverwood usually, but I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to help out Hod and Girder. Let's do this. Let's get some good money and upgrade equipment and smithing. So I think I'm, somewhere between 16 and 18. It's a good way to get some money.
Well, because fishing is not a very lucrative business at this point.
No, sadly.
No, it wouldn't be. What's my biggest venture. So the Companion's first quest I got, can I zoom in here? I want to pull up a Skyrim map. So it's been fun working my way through. And some of the stuff I've added for mods, like there are a couple cities mods or little town mods I added that were not as fully fleshed as I thought they might be. But I checked them out on the way. Mods where it adds towns and stuff with people, but they don't have anything to say. I don't really like that, so that's something I may remove. But let's see. Broken Tower readout. Do you know the readout where they send you to from the companions? Oh, Ranvig's Fast. That's it. Ranvig's Fast.
Dustman's Cairn is where is through the proving honor for the companions.
Yeah, so I haven't had that one yet. This is just an early radiant from.
Oh, okay.
Where they send you out to prove yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, and that's where they sent me. And I fell for the damn trick in the cave. So how the Ranvig Fast is the one. It's this huge thing. There are necromancers there, although there's actually really only one or two. And there are ghosts, and you fight ghosts when you go in. Mm-hmm. It was a kind of large quest for a first quest of the companions. I was surprised about it, which is why it took me a while to get there. And it's from there that I then went to Golden Hills and then down south and finished. This is my last big quest. But I could not believe that after playing Skyrim so many times, it's been a few years, I totally fell into the necromancer's trap. You guys know what I'm talking about? You walk down, you see a treasure chest, you walk to it, and boom.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I felt
shiny.
so pathetic. And he's like, haha, it's so easy. Can't believe how often fools fall. And I'm like, God damn it, I am a fool.
That is weird. So that's where they sent you that's where Farkas sent you for your
right first? After I joined. Yeah, Vilkas didn't give me anything because I believe Farkas already gave you one. And it's because I hadn't yet done a Western Watchtower. I wasn't Dragonborn. I hadn't made a name for myself. So I think maybe they're like, okay, we're going to give you something to kind of make a name for yourself, prove it. And that's where they sent me. That makes sense.
Yeah, because all they did was send me to beat up Bellathor's poor assistant there. And that's all I had to do. And that was the end of that.
Yeah, is that the one Vilkas gives you first?
Or whichever one, I can't remember, but I can never remember which of the brothers is Vilkas and Farkas.
Yeah, so I went through Dustman's Cairn on my way, and
because that's where you first see the. Yeah, you see the werewolf. He turns into a werewolf at Dustman's Cairn. That's yeah.
And is it let's see, Silent Moon's Camp? That one's connected to the new Assassin's quest line where we got the bow of shadows. So I went there. Bleakwind Basin. But I haven't done Swindler's Den yet. Basically, I went all across the top and into Morthal, and then when I did the Randvik Fast, I went down south. Yeah,
Swindler's Den is. I mean, it's a good dungeon run, but it's also the location for the Red Guard. I forget her name. Oh, God.
Sadia.
Sadia. Yeah. That's.
So I started that quest, which is why I have it on my map. And it was Fort Sungard that I went through just before I then went to Hunterheim, but it was full of Forsworn for me.
Really?
And not bandits. Yep.
I haven't been up there. I thought that was a bandit camp. Maybe
it may have been changed by something too. I'm not sure. Or it might be where I'm at in the story.
Yeah, no, it's probably I'm just my bad memory. Let's see. I gotta look at my map and see what I've got here. I'm inside Mirrorwatch, so where's the it's way over here somewhere. There it is. Yeah, Sungard. No, I didn't actually go to Sungard. The redoubt on the other side is Lost Valley Redoubt. I think that's where the Bard's Leap Tower is.
Okay.
And then the new additions just near there, is called Runoff Caverns. That's where you go in. There's a dwarven ruin in there. That's a big long quest line. It's not the one you were saying earlier, the Mazundathulft or whatever.
Yeah.
So Runoff Caverns, and it's pretty cool. In fact, it's very cool. I really enjoyed doing that. I haven't found all the prizes yet, although I pretty much think I've finished the actual quest line. I went to Blood Chill, I think, Cavern, which is the guest for dinner. And I got my butt handed to me, so I decided to delete those saves and go back later. We shall never talk about this again.
So, and this is on a new character, right? Because when you first loaded stuff up, you were trying a few things on your level 50-something character.
Who, me? No. I hadn't tried anything with. I basically said goodbye to SE, and because I really hadn't.
Right. Yeah. Skyrim. No, you did. Right. Yeah. That was Michael who was doing on his established character.
Yes, he was. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I hadn't played Skyrim in almost 8 months, really, so I didn't feel any. The only one I kept, for whatever reason, was the one we were doing with the Legacy of the Dragonborn. But he was crashing so often that it was hardly worth keeping that character. I loaded way too many complicated mods onto that game.
Yeah, my thing with that character was not that I was having crashes, but it was just taking so long to do everything because I had so much stuff.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it was. I can't remember now how, but it was just ridiculously long. Like more than a half an hour for it to just sort through your stuff to take things out for the chest. And so, yeah, it was just like, okay, yeah. I got enough stuff.
Yeah. That's getting a little much. Yeah. No, I never made it as far as you did ever in all the 4 or 5 times that I've played with the Legacy of Dragonborn mod. I've never made it into the. I love the feel of the mod and all the ideas and the archaeology and all that stuff. It's so much fun, but I just never.
Yeah, the quests were great. I loved them.
Yeah,
that was definitely a good part of it for me. Yeah, because I had never played it that long either. I mean, I don't think I ever got more than 10 or 12 artifacts, ever. And so
I haven't even looked to see if what the discussion is about it, whether it needs an AE update. I mean, they're a very active modding group that works on that mod. So if it does, I'm sure they'll have one out soon. So
but yeah, that was definitely an enjoyable one for me.
Yeah, it's a great mod. I have an idea for at least a couple more characters. There's an alternative. There's a guy who has done a suite of mods very similar to Eni Cheyenne, who's, I think I mentioned him last time. His modder name is Simon Magus, and he's the author of Adamant. And he's got a whole suite now, including Guardian Stones and Religion and various other things. So I want to do a playthrough with all of his stuff instead of Eni Cheyenne's. So I'm going to build a character with that, and maybe do a legacy if it's available for AA.
See, now I thought that mod was a follower mod.
Which?
Adamant.
Adamant? No, Adamant is a perk mod.
Yeah.
Oh, that joke. Sorry.
Clearly a really bad joke.
No, sorry. I'm just like.
Yeah. No, yeah. I always got a kick out of the name of that perk overall mod.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I one thing I do want to mention for people who maybe haven't tried combining mods and with the new Creation Club content is a lot of the alternative armors that come out with this. So there's a lot of creations, alternative armors for iron, leather, silver, a bunch of things.
Yeah.
Mods that affect armor, not necessarily textures, but also properties, aren't going to apply to these in a lot of cases. So for instance, if you say you have a helmet free mod, you go putting on the new soldier helmet or the new leather scout armor, and you put on that hood, it'll take away your hair and you'll still see the helmet. And there are a few things like that, where if you have things that affect all armors, it does all regular armors, but it's not including some of the Creation Club stuff. So I wanted to mention that for people.
And that's particularly an Xbox issue too, isn't it? I mean, I think there's
probably.
Yeah. Well, and it's not necessarily the texture problems that you'd have on the PC, but also properties, as you say, damage, etc. And that's what bashed patches are for on PC anyway. So, but
yeah, we bash them instead of overwriting in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Get the best of all worlds, but on Xbox, no. Load order is king.
Yes, absolutely. Well, yes, it is everywhere, but yeah, even absolutely on Xbox. Yeah.
And you can't, unfortunately, as much as you can control load order for sure, you can't control Creation Club load order. That is indeterminate. So I love the fact that y'all with Mod Organizer or Vortex, you can actually see your Creation Club, files.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking about it. Ray, you said there were 70 some, right? Which worked out.
Yeah, I don't remember what the number is at this point.
Yeah. And so, some of them are obviously master files and others not, but it puts them where it wants,
I think a lot of them are flagged as ESLs. Let me see if I can see it in MO right now.
Yeah. Ray mentioned ESM and ESL.
Yeah, they are. All the Creation Club is flagged. Almost all of the stuff is flagged as ESL. Just a few, probably big quest mods are ESMs. So you are stuck with whatever, and you are in Mod Organizer too. I haven't tried changing any load order with the Creation Club stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, so with Vortex, when you get a conflict, you get a little screen that pops up, and by conflicting file, you can say this one loads before that one, this one loads before that one, and go through the all the conflicting files and choose which one is going to load and which one's not.
Right.
So that's one of the easy things about Vortex, as far as being able to solve those kind of problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, all this stuff is showing up as Creation Club.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to mess with it anyway. Yeah, so.
But that basically covers.
All of it needs to be cleaned.
Oh no.
I haven't done. Yes, so it says. I have a set of cleaned vanilla ESMs that I'm not sure if I should use or not. I had done that. Clean. You're supposed to clean your master files from the original vanilla game when you're modding. And what I've always done is I have a set that's clean, and I archive them and then load them in as a mod, so they overwrite the originals. And then I don't have to re-clean every time there's an update to the game, or whatever. But I'm kind of afraid to use them with AE. So, and I haven't read up. And I haven't read up on whether or not cleaning. I don't even know if TES5 Edit has had to be updated for AE or not. So, or Xedit, I guess what they call it now. I have no idea. So. Maybe I should do some research on that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. See what the currently recommended ideas are.
Yeah. Right now, I just want to play.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's what's that because I would have had to have added all my tools, gotten all that stuff. Although the one thing I do miss is at this point, I can shoot a bow farther than the graphics render. And so, I have to do everything where I sneak up within the LOD, to be able to shoot anything, because it doesn't render far enough out, because I don't have, my load gen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't used. Do you use Dindalod?
No.
Okay.
I use the other one. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Because I don't have it loaded on this version of Vortex.
Well, one thing I was going to ask you about loading it on a separate PC. I mean, that sequesters your original SC installation. However, you're still using your Steam account to validate the game, so to speak, right? To run it, because even if you buy the game from Bethesda, it requires you to have a valid Steam account to launch it. So when you go back to SE on your other machine, are there going to be any ramifications?
So I haven't done that yet. Now that you mentioned it,
maybe.
But it's not. So I mean, it can't load it because it's not set up to So my Steam client on that machine is not set up to update, unless I open it on that client.
Right, unless you use the Steam launcher to launch the game.
Yeah.
Right. Well, which is the way I have it set up on this machine here, and yet it still did the update. So, like I said, because I tried to log in or tried to start the game one day, and a week or two after, I think it was they've done one update to AE since the launch, and that got pushed down, and I had to load the latest SKSE, even though I was launching it through Mod Organizer and SKSE. So it updated without my permission. And I went back and checked to see if my setting had changed, and it had not. So.
All right. Well, fortunately, I did the backup of my files.
Yeah.
So
good.
I may have to, reload every time I want to play on the other machine.
Yeah. And there is the rollback mod that's available on Nexus now that has been updated several times. So I know they're actively working on it. So I gather it works quite well.
Yeah. Or I may just bite the bullet and just let it fly.
Yeah, that's what I decided to do. But that's only because I didn't have any characters in which I was, super fully invested. So.
Well, I don't either. I mean, they're all, level, 20, 25. They're done.
just for a little show and tell here, I'm going to, because I mentioned, I forget where I mentioned it, whether it was on the Discord, it's probably on the Discord. But this is the Backbone.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Backbone a bit on Discord. I think we might talk about it elsewhere too, but it's a great device.
It's very cool, and they seem to be a really awesome company too. So, but right now, of course, it's iPhone only. So you just put your phone in there, and when you with a 13, which has a bigger bump on the back and it's a little thicker. They actually have a free little adapter for it. And when you first load up the app, it asks you, what model phone you're using, and it says, give us your address, and if you pay us the shipping, we'll send you the adapter basically free of charge, except for the shipping. Or if you happen to be a total geek and you have a 3D modeler, 3D printer, we'll send you the file and you can make your own, which I thought was really cool. It's a little awkward, and it's sort of at a slight angle with a lightning connector. So I'm going to wait for the adapter to come in and before I use it a lot. But it works seamlessly. It's a very nice little thing. It's really nicely laid out. Has the standard Xbox, ABX.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And,
I feel like another one of our friends in the Fallout group is using the Backbone. And I know a couple people with the Kishi. And a lot of people said that they like the Backbone better than the Kishi if they've tried both.
The only thing I had was audio issues. And the only time I tried to play Skyrim through Game Cloud, the video was solid and excellent because I have FiOS. So for some reason, the audio was so I don't know what was going on that day, or whether it's a software issue or what, but so anyway.
And that works on iPhones
only, but there's on their website there's a little button for Android, so they're actively working on an Android version of it.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, I would have to have a much, much bigger phone.
Yeah, well, this is about as big an iPhone as you can get.
Because, my eyes.
Yeah,
they don't see little things.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see well with these. These are my progressives, and I don't wear them when I'm wearing them right now, but when I'm actually playing a game or something, I'd be going like this and trying to play this stupid game.
If you're not doing a long-term playing and you're just logging in to waste 20 minutes or do your dailies, if you're in another game, people have found that it works pretty well. I tried it once pairing my controller because I don't have anything fancy like a Kishi or a Backbone, and it worked well enough. But then next time I turned on my controller, it wanted to pair to my phone and not my Xbox for a little bit, and that was there's a way to double tap it. But I have not done it much. But it's funny because I specifically bought my current phone, my Pixel, because Blades was coming out, and I'm like, I need better phone if I'm going to play Elder Scrolls Blade. So
Yeah, I've done almost zero gaming on my phone. So, but the Backbone was on sale on Amazon for Black Friday for like $69. So, so I thought, what the heck, give it a try. But I mean, it doesn't really, since you can't do file I/O very well with an iPhone. You can't really load the game onto the phone, so it doesn't make it very portable. So I'd just as soon just use my Switch for that. But I thought it'd be fun to play with anyway. And it actually makes it about the size of the Switch with the iPhone in it. And frankly, it feels better in my hand than the Switch does, because you have the actual sort of controller nacelles or whatever you want to call them, that feels like an actual Xbox controller instead of the flat Switch thing, which is a little,
like the grips. I know what you mean now.
Yeah.
Nacelle is a good word for it.
Yeah, that's what they look like. Yeah. So, but yeah, it feels much more positive feel in the hand. The triggers are all there. The analog sticks. It's all nice.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Nice little machine.
All right. Well, anybody got anything else going on there?
I don't think so. I think we've talked it out for today.
I think that wraps it up. Yeah, I've really enjoyed 3.5 weeks since Anniversary's been out. It's been my most played game again.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's
well,
been wonderful.
And it's fun to see, Skyrim pictures popping up from Jess. So.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch more. Yeah. I was just now I'm like, well, let me take a look. And did I download them? And I was just moving some stuff over to my captures folder. I've already got 60 or 70 good shots that I've already curated and been like, okay, I want to keep these ones. So expect them to keep coming.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Where are you loading them up on the Discord or just?
Oh, I'm mostly on Twitter and Instagram.
Okay.
I do some shares there.
Okay.
I'm actually doing a little stories right now. I mentioned on Fallout the other day, I'm doing a Skyrim Diaries, hashtag Skyrim Diaries, hashtag the dating scrolls. I'm talking about my character's love life. I've got this little story in my thread because I love my new girl. She is adorable. And I feel like she's replacing, Carlotta and some of the others as Wasteland's most Wasteland. Oh my goodness gracious. Tamriel's most wanted. She's very eligible.
Excellent.
Very nice.
Oh, I'll look that up.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for tuning into this episode, and we will see you next time.
Night all.
Bye.